Okay, so how are you, Ashu?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you so much for asking. And how about you?
I'm doing good. Fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. So let's start. I think your topic for this session is interview.
Yes.
Okay. Have you been to any interview lately, or have you ever given any kind of interview?
Yes. One interview I had given, and
Mhm.
back in 2022, I went to Noida for 1 month. So I got a chance to give an interview, and it was nice. I got some good feedbacks from them. In the first round, the way I was sitting, so he said that you are not the boss. You will have to sit like an employee here. I said okay because I was sitting in this style and my hand was going like in a one take. So he said like interviewer can do it, but being an interview, you'll have to keep this thing in your mind that you'll have to sit like this and tie your hands politely. So I said okay. In a second round, I was okay with my sitting style and position. So yes, so they gave me good feedback and they praised me about my fluency. They said okay. So it was a great experience. I wanted to check myself. That's why I had given that interview once
Okay, so
only.
what was the outcome of that interview?
Yes, I was selected and they said that you can join. But I said,
Can you share
unfortunately,
some
I'll have to
details?
go back because I got the notification from my university. As I already told you that my plan was not to join there. So I was
Mhm.
there to check myself that like people they tell because in interview room you will be shaking, you won't be able to say anything. So that's why I said like maybe I can try as well. Like is it the same? And
Mhm.
same I used to hear about board also. When I had given my board in 2019, teachers, my seniors, they used to say, "Oh my goodness, when you'll go into examination hall, it will be very difficult for you." I said, "Okay, let's see." When I had gave exam, it was not that much horrible. I was feeling okay because I was fully prepared and I was good in studies, so it was okay. But for the students who are not studying regularly, it is very difficult. But in one exam, the day when I had given my accountancy exam, it was difficult. I was like I was feeling I was getting sweat because my questions, I I was able to solve them, but I like had less time to attend those questions. So I was very unhappy because the one of the best teachers in my life, he used to teach me accountancy, and he had a lot of expectation from me and he wanted me to score almost like 90 plus or 95, and even though I wanted to get 95, so there was a question of 6 marks and I was not getting answer of that. So I thought if I will leave that question, I'll get 94, so I wouldn't be happy. So due to that question, I lost a lot of questions. I was not able to attend them, so I was not able to score good. That is a bad dream kind of thing for me.
Okay. Lot of expectations S is required because since you are using lot. And
Expectations. Mhm.
yes, secondly, you said the teachers used to tell us that examination room and fear factor, that thing which you have mentioned. Since you are giving me some incident which had happened in the past, when you said would, the teachers used to tell me you would get panic when you face this situation, but I never faced that situation because I was fully prepared. Okay, overall it was
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
So let's move on to the next question. What should you not do at a job interview? If somebody would like to take your interview for that, or let's say somebody would like to take your thoughts on that, and you have already given your one interview in the past. So, what would be your suggestions to that person? Of course, after seating arrangements, how do you have to sit, your that posture. Apart from that, anything else that you would like to give them as a suggestion?
Yes, the suggestions what I would give them. The thing is that most of the people they would like to write about their hobbies, and they're writing something they are not interested in. So it's very difficult thing. If you are writing that you like reading, but you don't have an idea about any single book, then because what happened with me when I I had written in resume that I like reading. So she asked me like, which book have you read last time? I said Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and then she asked me the follow-up question that can you tell me the essence of that? I said okay, but I was okay telling the essence of that book. But most of the people, they are not prepared. They are writing that they like reading newspapers, they like reading like books, they are into very serious things they will write, but they are not into it. So I will say to don't make a trap for yourself. Write something genuinely where you are in. So they can ask the question and you can give their answers. So this kind of things are there, and some, I think, people, they are trying to show off. They show off a lot in interview. So you don't have to show off there because they are interviewers, and somehow they are going to pull you down in that way, or maybe because they are interviewers and they will have to select you. So you're not it depends on a post as well. If you are going there for the CEO, chief executive officer, of course they want a person who can lead their company. They don't want an employee like that you're not able to do well. But if they want an employee and you are a basic employee there in their company, so you don't have to show off like you are going to be the boss over there. So such kind of things I felt in interview, and we'll have to keep a lot of things in our mind because. But what I understood, you'll have to be genuine. Don't try to be someone else there. Whatever you know, tell that. Whatever you are into, say that. I think, and we shouldn't be dependent on a single company. What I feel, fish can't climb on a tree, of course. So if you are not fit into that company, go for someone like some other company. Maybe you will be fit into that. So that's what I understood in interviews.
Maybe you will be a better fit. Maybe you will be
I'll be a better fit.
a better
Hmm.
fit. Okay. Okay, that's great. So, whatever suggestions you have given, that is absolutely mind blowing. They should always see what they are mentioning in their CV, because cross question
Hmm.
is something that happens. And this is how we try to get some information about the, about the person who has come to give an interview. First of all,
Hmm.
let me ask you a different question, which is out of this box. Do you think face to face interview is important, or other forms of interview hold extra importance? What do you think?
I feel face to face interview is one of the most important things in interviews, because when you are, if I will talk with someone over the call, I'll not be able to see him. I will not be able to see how he is behaving, how he is responding. But when we talk to someone in front of him, we are able to understand a lot of things about him by the way how he walks, and how he talks, because over the phone you can't understand. If I'm talking to you in front of you, you are able to find out a lot of mistakes of mine, facial expression, hand gestures, or body movement. But if I'll talk to you over a call, you'll not be able to judge those things which are non-verbal. Only you'll be able to focus on the verbal. It depends on job as well, because if they are going to hire a person who is going to have a telecommunication and who is going to deal over the calls, then it's fine. But if they are finding a good manager, you'll have to deal there, and you'll have to go in the front of employees, you'll have to motivate them, you'll have to give them tasks. So in that way, I feel face to face interview is very important for good posts.
So, you mean to say, in case if I want to hire any telecommunication guy, then I can simply do it over the phone and I can speak to that guy and I can hire him or her, right?
Yeah, it happens. Even though a lot of people and friends of mine, they told me that they are giving interviews through call and they are selecting them, because nowadays the people, they can sit in their home and they can work for companies, and they'll have
Hmm.
to deal with the people. That's it, because they don't have to go to office. So for that, it's fine.
Okay. And they did not get any kind of face to face interview in the panel, right? So in their interview
Yes.
list, nothing face to face. Okay, that is
It
pretty
depends
surprising.
on reputed companies as well. Because if
Ah,
you are going to go for a reputed company, for sure, they will take not one round, they will go for 4 to 5 rounds where they will try to understand you fully.
and what do you think? What is the reason behind going for 4 to 5 rounds and then hiring an employee? I remember in 2003 when I gave my interview for the BPO, I went through 13 rounds of interview.
Oh my goodness. Really?
What kind
I
of
can't
interview?
believe.
Yes, because they wanted to check all the aspects. How are you in group communication? In case if you are
Mhm.
sitting with two, three people or four, five people, or probably in a group, then how do you communicate? What are your technical skills? What are your other skills? What is your, I will come to the list of it. But before that, I want to know what is the reason behind going for 4 to 5 interviews when I met you for the very first time, whether I like you or I don't like you. Right. I believe you personally believe in that, that first impression is a lasting impression. Okay. Do you believe in
First
this? First
impression
impression
is,
is a lasting.
I don't really think so. That's not correct everywhere. And
Mhm.
if I'll give you an example, sometimes what happens, the people, they are able to perform very well first time, but it
Mhm.
doesn't mean they will be able to continue that, because consistency matters a lot there. So if I'll talk about cricket, there are few players who did really well in their debuts, but after that they
Mhm.
were not able to maintain their form, and they were out of the cricket. And
Mhm.
so, in the same way, what happens for the 4 or 5 rounds? Maybe you did well and you were okay in your first round. Second round, you'll have to go very deep into it, and they will check your every single skill. As I said, as you already told me, that they would like to check you out, that how you are performing in group, how you are performing one on one, and how just you are going to deal clients. So in that way, they are taking 4 to 5, and that they are also trying to know that if there will be a lot of pressure, how will you react? Because if there are 13 rounds, a lot of people, they will think, oh my goodness, I will not go for that job. By listening to 13 rounds, they will say no, right? So this is the thing, they go for a lot of rounds, and they are trying to check your personality in every single aspect. So that's what I feel, that's why they go for it.
Okay. So, not only this, Ashu, when somebody is hired, actually, you're not hired based
Mhm,
on your sole capabilities that you are good in
mhm,
IT or you're good in communication. They also give
mhm,
you impromptu questions and they see what is your critical thinking, where is your
mhm,
cognitive thinking lies, whether you have
mhm,
leadership skills, do you have that power that you can handle pressure, do you believe that you can respect people who are just cleaning your floors or deck stations, so do you have those many capabilities? So these interpersonal skills are very much required, because when you are hired and you are not a good fit in a team, that point in time it may happen that you will be kicked out of the company because of some xyz reasons or conflict. So there will be a lot of scenarios wherein conflict management would have to come in between. Let's
mhm,
say you are not able to gel with people. With impromptu
mhm,
questions, you get to know your attitude, the way you talk, the way you handle, and your anger issues, stress management, time management. All these things come to know. That is the reason they take your other forms of interview. Otherwise, within the first round, they decide whether I want to take this person or not.
mhm.
Why? Because training can be given, but we can't train you on your
Yes,
behavior. Okay, I can give you process training. I can teach you how to do your job, but I cannot teach you how to talk to people. That is actually
absolutely
said
right.
in the very first interview. And similarly, when you go into somebody's team, they also ask you, okay, tell me something about yourself. You must be thinking, I have given this answer a couple of times now. I know who I am. Now I remember it by heart. But they ask you that how do you present yourself? And between that, whatever words, choice of words, the way you frame your sentences, they get to know about your communication skills, your interests, your cognitive skills, the way you handle pressure, because this question itself is a pressure for most of the people.
Mhm.
Right? This question
Yes,
itself is
you're
a
right.
pressure. Yeah. So there they get to know whether this person can control that anger, stress, whether he's able to manage the time. Last time he took 3 minutes to give interview. Its own question: Who is he or who are you? This question is very important. If I want to know who is Ashutosh, what would you like to tell me? Now, this question is a big responsibility. Okay, so
Mhm,
what happens by the time you come to fourth interview, fifth round of interview, that point in time you are already through with this question, and still if they ask, you
mhm,
just give a crisp information. This is how they see how do you learn from circumstances. Okay, so you
mhm,
get to know, and that is the reason you must give interviews whenever you get a chance, because it will give you boost in your personality, and you will find every time a different you is coming out of that. Okay, so you must know that. Okay, so let's go for the last
yes.
question. Do you want to say anything?
Mhm.
Do you want to add on anything in this list?
Yes, I must say that I had watched a video of Gyan Vassal Swami, and he was telling that how they are hiring this kind of CEOs. They're not asking that how much experience you have and how many years have you worked in that company, because they already know that. But they would like to know your pressure handling skills, that how
Mm.
will you able to manage in situations where the situation will be really against of you. So you are absolutely right. And of course, about the introduction, most of the people, they don't feel comfortable if anybody is asking them again and again about, like, tell me something about yourself. Even though I met a lot of people who were like, saying I am fed up of this question. So but for me, I did more than 15,000 conversations, and I was very comfortable telling about myself. I feel proud telling about myself. So
Mm.
yeah, you said it right. I
Okay.
couldn't agree more with you.
Yes. And also, with time you become expert. Like you said, 15,000 conversations, and now I feel proud also. I feel good. And I am happy to give my interview. Even if I am taking back to back 7 calls, if 7 times I have to introduce myself, I feel more proud. Okay, why? Because before you
Yeah.
say anything to somebody else, you are the one who's listening what you said, and it boosts your morale every time. It was like, oh, I've done this much, or I'm talking to a new person. So definitely, at the back of your mind, it is boosting your morale and personality. So that is again, and it's cherry on the cake, right? So let's move on to the last question here. So you have already given me your previous experience. Okay. So now the question is, how will you prepare yourself for an online interview? What are your suggestions for the people who are going to give an online interview?
Yeah, online interview, it is like we are talking to each other, the same process it go with like online. So
Mhm.
the thing is that what we will have to, we should have a good background, because sometimes like what happens in online interview, people they are talking from the place where it is very like too noisy. So it is not good for, because interviewer is not going to give you two or three chances. They will have to select. So you'll have to find out a peaceful place for yourself, a very calm and composed background. You shouldn't be like very puzzled and something like vibrant. It should be calm and composed, and you should choose your clothes wisely as well, because some people they feel like they are putting on a half t-shirt or something, they will give the interview, they are not preparing themselves in a way. So that should be in mind. And apart from this, you should be good with the technology as well, because you should check your connection, that is it good or not. And then you should find out the right place how to sit, and how you are going to like just what I'll say, that the interviewer is looking at you, and you should be in a good position, that they will be able to look you properly. So because some people like they are sitting like this, their faces are like they are sitting like this, so it's not so good. You should be in a proper state that the people they can the interviewers can watch you, so because you are interviewed, so they would like to see you properly. So this kind of several things are there to focus on.
Great. Very well said. And as you said, that interviewer can look at you. Okay. So
Hmm.
I would say in such cases, whenever you have a lengthy conversation to give or a lengthy pointers, you have some pointers like you spoke about technology, then you spoke about body movement, the way you sit in front of camera, dressing sense. You have spoken about all these things. Whenever you have such lengthy conversations to give, you always have pointers. Like, very first thing, I want you to test your technology and the setup. So prior to sit for an interview, ensure that your internet connection, camera, microphone, or any required software or platforms which is working properly. You must have tested it before you actually sit for an interview. Second thing, choose a suitable location. Select a quiet and a well place so that you can give your complete interview in a professional environment. Avoid distraction, that cluttered background. Just try to avoid those. Dress appropriately. Okay, dress in a manner that aligns with the company's dress code. So in case if the company has a dress code, like you said, don't sit in a half shirt or a t-shirt, or you have chosen a wrong color for your for your face color or for your skin color. So that should always be there. So dressing professionally, it boosts your confidence automatically. It creates a positive impression on the people who takes your interview. Secondly, practice body language. This is also very important. Maintain a good posture and eye contact with the camera. Like you said, when you were sitting there, so that person told you, you are not a boss here, I am the boss. So you have to sit properly. So I think sit straight, or you can say sit up straight, avoid slouching, use hand gestures naturally, but avoid overdoing them. And that is also, again, you are giving us a suggestion. Next is practice and rehearse. Research for the company, culture, and the role that you are applying for. You must have read your roles and responsibilities properly, because they may ask you about the role scenarios. And last but not least, have a strong introduction. So because the first thing they will ask you to give introduction. Start your interview with a confident and concise introduction. You can talk about your background, skills, enthusiasm for the position. This is how you give your strong introduction. Next, we have two, three more points, like listen carefully, pay close attention to the interviewer's questions. If you ask them to, repeat, or I beg your pardon, I did not hear you, your voice is not coming properly, these are not the excuses that you can go for. So stay attentively, listen to them properly, because most of the people listen to respond. If you listen to understand, you will active listen. And if you are unclear about the question, it is always suggested, do not hesitate to ask for some clarification, but speak clearly and slowly. Enunciate your words so clearly and avoid speaking too fast or too quickly. Okay? And always go for START technique for behavior questions. Um, STAR technique. Do you know what is STAR technique?
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to say sorry. STAR technique is something, whenever you sit for an interview, you always think about four things. S is for situation, T is for task, A for action, and R for result. Okay, so when answering your behavioral questions, you should always follow this method to structure your response. This helps you to provide your detailed information and organized answers that you want to give to the interviewer. Show enthusiasm, prepare the questions beforehand, avoid any kind of disruptions, interruptions, and use notes. Make sure that you write down if they say something, because that shows a positive response to the people who are actually taking your interview, that this person is really serious about it. Okay, so these are few things which I wanted to add on. So next time, whenever you give suggestions to anybody else, I want you to please incorporate everything so that you can guide more well to the person who's trying to focus on the interview. And you should help them to crack it actually, right? Because
Exactly.
you are doing a good cause, talking to people, solving their problems, solving their questions. Because, tutors, like if I talk about myself, I cannot give more time online. I cannot talk to people. I have very limited slots because I already have a lot of other work. So I do not open my slots. So every time, and it is impossible for me to talk to everybody. So it is good that I had a word with you, and now you can talk to all your subscribers, and you can get to know them, that okay, this is how you can plan for your interview. And I'm pretty sure people will come and give blessings to you. Oh, thank you, Ashu, I have cracked an interview, and I'm looking forward to your channels again and again. Okay, now my last
Okay.
question before I finish it, can
Mhm.
you tell me what are the skills required in such cases? Any kind of interview, what are the hardcore skills required that you must have?
Confidence. You should fear confidence, the first thing. Second, the verbal skills should be really good. And third, non-verbal skills should be good and must be good. Because people think that if they are able to speak good, that's like enough. That's not enough. How you are presenting yourself, that matters a lot. And the fourth, you said it matters a lot, like leadership skills, that how you are leading the issues, and how you are going to lead something in the company. And the fifth thing, you should know your task very well, like being in like what will be the job description, what why you are going for. So you should know that what will you do there. According to that, you should present yourself. So these are the things, and there are several things, but according to me, I think we should focus on these 4 to 5
These are
things.
first five. Okay, great. And I'm glad that you immediately learned it and you started giving me pointers, because people will focus on pointers more, and they'll start writing out a 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, and they will start taking it rather than taking your paragraph and taking out the pointers, because few people are not very good in taking out the pointers. So it is very good.
Mhm.
Just make it easy for everybody. Whosoever watches your video, they can get it in one go. Oh, Ashu told me these 5 points. I'm going to focus on this because they are die-hard fan of Ashu. Right, Ashu?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so it was a great conversation. Again, I really loved it. Hope I have made some, addition to your journey, and I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure
You
you would
did.
like it. Okay, so I hope your viewers would love this video, and they will take you to another scale very soon. You will become all famous personality. You are already famous, I'm sure, and I would definitely
No,
go.
it's not like that.
Still not. Still not.
Yeah, there are a lot of things to do, and I would like to improve myself as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. No, okay, that's great. Wish you all the best, and do let me know if any kind of service you require from my side. I'll be more than glad to assist you, and wish you all the best for your future till we meet again. So take good care of yourself, Ashu. I am done from my side. If you have anything to say, please go ahead.
I must say I'm really thankful for you because you have a great experience of giving interviews, and it was really great session. I learned a lot from it. So thank you.
That's great. I'm glad that the pleasure is all mine. So take good care of yourself. See you again. Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you.